Following the breakup of the Soviet Union in 1991, Russia retreated almost entirely from the affairs of Central Asia, which is a region encompassing the former Soviet Union republics of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. Under the leadership of Vladimir Putin, Moscow has worked to restore its role as a key player in Central Asian politics and development, but it has faced numerous obstacles along the way. The region's pivotal strategic location within the Eurasian continent and rich hydrocarbon resources have attracted the attention of multiple external players, and Central Asian governments themselves have begun learning how to leverage diverse foreign ties to their advantage. China has sought to translate its powerful economic influence into a broader strategic presence across Central Asia. Thereby, it has reduced Moscow's capacity for regional influence. In this video, we will examine the key dimensions of Russia's current policy in Central Asia, as well as the motivations that underpin the pursuit of those policies.
Joint military exercises and counter-narcotics drills are some of the most conspicuous elements of Russia's modern-day security cooperation with Central Asia. Officially, Moscow has justified its efforts to strengthen Central Asian military institutions based on lingering threats of religious extremism across the predominantly Muslim region, as well as the need to stem the flow of regional drug trafficking and to prevent the spillover of conflict from Afghanistan. While presenting a vision of Central Asia as a tinderbox of potential transnational threats, Russia has worked to take a leading role as the primary guarantor of security and stability in the region. The Russian-led Collective Security Treaty Organization, or CSTO, established in 2002, has become one of the primary avenues for initiating joint regional military exercises, cooperating over border control, and training Central Asian military and security personnel. Under the auspices of collective security, Russia has developed major military bases throughout the region, including the Kant Air Base in Kyrgyzstan, home to CSTO Rapid Deployment Forces, and the 201st Military Base in Tajikistan, Russia's largest military facility abroad. Similarly, Russia has invested considerable effort into re-energizing the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or CSO, a regional collective security body that has been used as an umbrella for joint anti-terrorist operations, military exercises, and security drills between Russia, China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan since 2002. Through its efforts, Russia has managed to firmly anchor Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan to Moscow. But the absence of Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan from the CSTO leaves a major gap in regional security architecture and underscores diverging interests and lingering distrust across the region. Furthermore, by prioritizing geopolitical goals over true regional security imperatives, the Kremlin has hampered its ability to have a meaningful impact on the root causes of insecurity in the region. As a result of its rich hydrocarbon resources, Central Asia has become an important player in Russia's energy schemes. In Kazakhstan, the Tengiz and Kashagan oil fields are two of the largest oil fields in the world, and Turkmenistan is home to the fifth largest proven natural gas reserves in the world. Moscow has worked to secure control over production, sales, and transportation of Central Asian energy resources in pursuit of both economic benefits and geopolitical influence. Using its near monopoly over gas and oil transportation routes into and out of Central Asia, Moscow was able to obtain preferential agreements with Central Asian state-controlled energy companies, including negotiating low import prices on Central Asian gas and oil, which it then sold to Ukraine, Georgia, and European customers. In 2009, however, the newly operational Central Asia-China gas pipeline broke the Russian monopoly in the region and paired with plummeting crude oil prices to make the oil and gas reselling business unprofitable. China has also gradually displaced Russia as the largest trading partner of the Central Asia republics. Since 2013, when Beijing announced its Silk Road Economic Belt Initiative designed to integrate China with countries of Central and Southeast Asia, China has become a major lender and investor in the region. Moscow has sought to counter this push through the establishment of the Eurasian Economic Union, EEU, which came into effect after a long development process in 2015. At its outset, the EEU was intended to eliminate non-tariff barriers and facilitate trade among its members, to allow for the free movement of capital and labor, to liberalize services, and to harmonize member states' regulations. But its unveiling coincided with a deep economic recession in Russia. The Russian ruble plummeted in the wake of Western sanctions, Russian counter-sanctions, and low oil prices. Low volumes of turnover trade with Russia hurt the Central Asian countries which joined the Union, and the decline of the Russian economy devastated the remittance-dependent countries of Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan in particular. More recently, the socioeconomic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic have amplified Moscow's economic woes and led to an exodus of Central Asian labor migrants from Russia. This has been a serious concern for the Kremlin, which has sought to use migration as an instrument to induce the entry of Tajikistan and Uzbekistan into the EEU.
Instruments of soft power are a relatively recent addition to Moscow's foreign policy repertoire. Joseph Nye, who defined and popularized the concept of soft power as a nation's ability to achieve foreign policy goals through attraction rather than coercion, has critiqued Russia's interpretation and implementation of the concept. Nevertheless, Russia's foreign policy doctrine specifically denotes soft power as an integral tool for achieving foreign policy objectives.
Moscow has taken significant cues from the United States in devising its soft power strategies. For example, the Russian government has inaugurated its own grant-making scheme for delivering funds to homegrown and foreign organizations loyal to Russia, and Russian-backed organizations have become actively involved in international practices such as development financing and election monitoring. The Kremlin has also opened a variety of offices aimed at organizing youth exchanges and educational programs across Central Asia, and has become increasingly involved in the realm of humanitarian aid. For instance, providing Central Asian republics with significant COVID-19 relief and assistance. Moscow has also taken advantage of opportunities to engage in regime branding through broadcasting its domestic TV channels and promoting its state-owned news outlets across Central Asia, where local media production is inhibited by state censorship and meager funding. Additionally, existing scholarship on authoritarian regimes recognizes the appeal that non-democratic political structures can have for fellow autocracies. The regimes in Russia and Central Asia share perceived threats from independent civil society, organized opposition, and Western democracy promotion, which have fostered authoritarian like-mindedness, learning, and policy convergence across the region. The likelihood of democratic change in any of the Central Asian republics is weak, not least because of Moscow's political and financial backing of the region's authoritarian regimes. But Russia's soft power strategy has also partly backfired, as Central Asian governments have become increasingly suspicious of Russian initiatives and eager to preserve their political autonomy. Russia's adventurism in Ukraine has accelerated the outreach of Central Asian governments to alternative partners, particularly Beijing. But large segments of the population remain favorable to Russia and express support for it on the international scene, citing positive memories of the region's Soviet past.
Russia has succeeded in keeping Central Asia in its orbit of influence by applying traditional methods of strategic and economic manipulation, as well as the so-called soft power tools. Yet, Russia's position in the region has been gradually supplanted by China. Whether or not Moscow feels threatened by Beijing will depend on the extent to which China's economic presence spills over into political and strategic influence. The region has also seen increased activity by the European Union, Gulf countries, Turkey, India, Iran, Pakistan, and the Middle Eastern states. Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan in particular have reached out to these external powers in an attempt to distance themselves from Russian-led integration. In many cases, Central Asia's geopolitical loyalty to Moscow has come at the expense of practical outcomes in regional affairs.